Hey guys, Zombie here, and welcome to a very exciting video today. We have the reveal trailer of the Airship in Among Us, a brand new map releasing early 2021 and a free update. We're going to be analyzing the reveal trailer. Quickly before we hop into it, I do want to mention that there is some dialogue, or not dialogue, there's some monologue by a commentator where I will let him say his line and then I'll go back and analyze what happened. If you haven't seen it before, I want this to be you to be able to understand what he's saying and get the full experience, but then also get to see the analysis I'm going to do between each scene, like, of the trailer. So here we go. We open up with just a very brief, or not, yeah, just a cinematic of the airship coming up from the clouds into the sky. The airship.
Welcome, recruit. Get yourself acquainted with the layout of the Top-Hat airship.
Alright. Now that he said his line in full, let's go back. There's so much to unpack just in that, believe it or not. So we start here in the cockpit, which I believe to be most likely the spawn room of this map. This room has been revealed on the Twitter of, I believe, both the Among Us, official Among Us Twitter, as well as the Inner Sloth Twitter. We see a vent here, as well as one of the electrical tasks to divert the power. I don't remember if there's a task on the left or if we could see it in the previous image. I don't believe there's a room or an exit to the left. I believe the only exit's to the right, but I could be mistaken. We see the armory here, which we don't see anywhere else in the video, but I'll point out how I know this is the armory a little bit later. And this is where I believe us to spawn at the very beginning of the game.
Welcome, recruit. Get yourself...
Alright, so let's go back to, like, the first frame here. So here we have the vault, which I believe to be... I kind of am comparing in my own head to the cafeteria, in that I believe this is, like, the middle of the map. There's an exit here to the right. I believe there to be an exit on the bottom, top, and left, or at least 3 of the 4. Similar to the cafeteria, which has 3 on the left, right, and bottom of the skeld. We see a ruby here, which is a task that we'll see later. We see a camera here. And we have these, like, mannequins with, like, different hats and you know, outfits. And we have what looks to be like an energy sword, like, from Halo. But I assume it's from Henry Stickmin in some capacity. I haven't played the games in so long, I can't remember. By the way, if you didn't know, this map is based on, or, like, inspired by Henry Stickmin, thus the name Henry on the character that we're watching. So let's keep going here.
Get yourself acquainted with the layout.
So right here, sorry, there's some, like, motion blur frames, so I'm trying to find a frame where it's not blurry for you guys. We come into the brig, so we see this room. It's like hallway that has, you know, the vault here. We have this hallway we're about to go into, and we actually see what's over here later in the video. So just keep in mind that we have vault into this room with, like, the red, I guess, windows, the J11, J12, J13. So we come down and we see, we have an upload here. There's also a vent over here in the room that we're going to see later. I'll let him talk.
Enough slacking. Go do your tasks.
All right, let's go back. So here, see how far back I can go before the cut happens. Again, this is probably going to be a minimally edited video just because I want to get this out to you guys. The Game Awards literally just ended. Now I'm recording this. This was revealed at the Game Awards 2020. So we come into security, which is really the room below us here. But we see a vent here from some room, which most likely connects to this room, which has a ladder, and ladders are traversable in this map. So you're able to go up and down this ladder. I almost want to say over here might be electrical. You have some sort of, you know, you almost see, like, the fuse box right here, kind of. We also see some switches here, which I believe to be a task called Flip the Breakers, but I'll point that out later, because there's a part of the video where the taskbar is out. So I think they're trying to reveal some of the new tasks in that part of the trailer. So we come down, we have security here. Let's find a non-blurred frame. There's a task right here. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I don't recall if we see it later, but there is a task here. There's some cassette tapes. I want to say this is a new task. I don't know what task this would be. If it's a reused task, so that's interesting. It appears there might be something down here, as well as a hallway to the left. Also, this is where cams are going to be able to be watched. So wherever we see cams in future shots or already that I've pointed out, it appears that this would be the place to view the cameras.
Go do your tasks.
So this is an interesting task. This is, let's see, empty garbage in medical. So essentially, it looks like you just click in the task, and then you probably have to click and hold and just like shake your mouse back and forth. But something else, so we see some tasks here. I'm not sure if we see more later. I feel like there might be a few more later. So we have enter ID code. I don't think that's what it's called for the admin task of Mira. I could be mistaken, but that's at least the vibe I get from this if it's not the same name. Yeah, fixed wiring, classic, garbage, which is this, not garbage chute like in the scale. I believe this is the empty garbage task, which is the shaking back and forth. We have download data. We have stabilized steering, which is in the cockpit. So there is a task in the room that you spawn in. You might remember this task from the Skeld. I made a joke about it in my Skeld tips and tricks video, and people didn't realize it was a joke because of how dryly I delivered it, calling it the hardest task in the game. That's a classic if you haven't seen that one. And then we have divert power, which we've seen some of those modules already. So I guess this is this medical? I guess it is. It is medical. We see we also see events right here. So we're back in the vault. This is the task that I kind of pointed out before with the Ruby. If you've ever played Gen 4 Pokemon, I know it was in Diamond and Pearl. I don't remember if it was in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But basically where you'd go in like your badge case and you'd kind of just rub the badges with your stylus to clean them off. That's kind of what this task is. You'll see in a moment, and I'll let them talk because I don't want to cut them off. But we do then see we have event here. You also see like a wall here, which makes me think there is definitely a hallway here to the left. I could be wrong, but based on this little wall, I believe there to be a hallway coming to the left. And as I mentioned before, I would like to imagine there's at least one of these directions, the top or the bottom, has a hallway that goes to somewhere else in the map. And we also notice an upload right here.
You may need to take a ladder to get to certain areas, or maybe just take a nice shortcut. Quit grouping up.
All right, let's go back. Again, it's crazy. Every few seconds, there's just so much packed in for us to discover. It's very, very cool. I enjoy this a lot, kind of going through and just looking at everything that we see. So we see a divert power here, some sort of conference room. I guess it's called the meeting room. I would assume there's some sort of connection to the rest of the map over there on the far right of this room. We have a camera here, so that's good to know. I'm not sure if any of this has to do with the task or if it's some sort of mode of traversal, like maybe you can open this by doing like swiping a card and it brings you to another area. I don't believe that to be the case though, because you can't see anything over here, but maybe that's part of a gimmick, but I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. That actually looks like it might be some sort of garbage. Let me unblur. I don't know, maybe it's some sort of, maybe you take the garbage out and put it here, now that I look at it again. It looks maybe like it's in, you put garbage in, pull the lever, I don't know. So we come down, and now this is the gap room. This is what I mentioned before, the J11 is to the left out of frame, J12, J13, and we went from the Ruby room into this hallway and went down before, but this is the room to the right. We have the gap room, so you can go up or you can go across, and there's also a vent. There's also a numpad here, which most likely has to do with the task or Sabo. And then we see this little platform that moves from... This is very cool too, I'll get to that in 1 second. We have this platform that goes from the vault cells side to the record side. But later on in the video, we find ourselves over here, and the platform is here. So from what we see in this trailer, which will be reinforced later, I believe this platform to be one way from this side across to this side. But again, maybe it's, you take it this way and then it's here, and then if someone takes it back, it's here, and it's just depending on who the last person to use it is. So I'll have to wait and see with the map's release. I'll roll back a few frames just so you can hear what he says.
Quit grouping up. Choose a room to start in after a meeting.
So that is extremely interesting. So if you notice there, he said after each meeting, you can choose a room to spawn in. So you choose his engine room, which we'll get to in a moment. But I do think it's very interesting. It's after every meeting, which again, would maybe reinforce the idea of the cockpit being a spawn room, round one, for everyone. No choice. You spawn in the cockpit. And then in the sequential rounds, you can choose where you spawn. My question is, and we don't have an answer to this right now, is are our options always engine room, records, and main hall? Or is it like a random 3 rooms or a random selection of 3 rooms from a grab bag of maybe 5 rooms or 6 rooms? Because maybe there's some rooms you're not, like you just can't spawn in, and the other rooms get cycled through. Maybe it's just these 3. We'll have to wait and see when the map comes out. Something else to notice is there is a bit of a display of how the rooms are laid out, rough and just kind of walls. We see engine room, which is how I kind of verified this. So I'll just quickly do this, and then we'll come back to look at the records room and the main hall room. So we select engine. We see there's an exit here to the right. We see some sort of something going on up here to the north. And based on the image that we just saw, if I can get back to that, going frame by frame, so I don't want, if I go back 5 seconds, there's so much that it's so short of a time frame. We see the exit on the top and on the right. I think it's safe to assume there's an exit on the left. Because now if we go back into here, we have, oh, it's just a little bit dark. There we go. We have the exit on the right, the top. We do have a divert power here and a vent. And this is, I think this is a longer list of tasks. I'm not sure if this is unique. I don't think it's unique because we have like stabilized steering, unless it's a different version of it. But I know we had some sort of steering task on the Skeld. But we see enter ID code again, fix wiring again, download, reset breakers, which is what I was mentioning before towards the beginning of the video with those levers. We have empty garbage, which we saw before. Armory, put away rifles, which we saw from the cockpit at the very beginning. It was just, southeast, down and to the right from that cockpit. We saw at the very beginning. We noticed kind of just a corner of the room, but I do believe that to be the armory. Electrical, divert power, which again is one of these. Stabilized steering, which is on the cockpit where we spawn, probably on the far left. Clean toilet, which we don't see, but that's cool. And then we have polished ruby, which we saw. But just quickly before we keep going, I do want to point out the kind of layout of records, which I believe to be towards the northern side of the map, northern middle, perhaps, because it appears we have an exit on the left, right, and bottom. We also see main hall here, which I'm having a hard time deciphering. I've been looking, I looked at this for quite a few minutes. We have an exit on the right and the left, but we also have what seems to be some sort of room or small area, maybe some sort of closet, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we can see. Is there maybe an exit to the right here? I can't tell. Maybe they just didn't include this because this little picture frame, this little Polaroid is kind of there, but if there was a wall, I don't know. It's interesting. The main hall is the most confusing of these 3, but it looks like maybe there's like tasks in here. Maybe it's something like I'm thinking right now about oxygen, bottom oxygen on Polis, where you have that like the water jug. Because I don't know. It just kind of, maybe it's just a little secluded area that might be good for killing, or maybe maybe there's exits, maybe there's ladders that we just can't see because this is 2D, and ladders would imply 3D space. So I don't know. Main hall is kind of confusing to me, but I think it'll be interesting to see when we finally get to see the map early next year.
Someone keeps trying to sabotage us. Stop their plan.
All right, let's just analyze this scene. So we start here. Let's see how far back we can go into this room. Right here. So we have this room. It looks kind of like a library or something, maybe, or another sort of conference room. I don't know. There's only 2 chairs at this table. There looks like there's some sort of, maybe books or documents. I can't really tell. There's no noticeable task or anything. There's no noticeable exit. Maybe there's one here, here, or here, or maybe this is just the end of the map. Think navigation on Skeld. Maybe it's just the rightmost or eastmost room. We do, however, see a camera here. We also, obviously, have you seen these doors all over the place? The doors are definitely going to be sabotageable? Is that a word? Able to be sabotaged. We also see a sabotage going off.
Trying to sabotage us.
One is here, and it's the numpad. So I assume the other one is the numpad that we saw earlier in the video on the other side. I assume this will probably be oxygen. I could be wrong. Maybe it's a new one. This obviously, not obviously, I just don't believe this to be Reactor. It doesn't kind of follow how they've done Reactor in the past. Obviously doesn't follow how they've done comms. Comms has always been a single area to fix the Sabo. Maybe it's a new one, I don't know, but my best guess on this Sabo is there's this numpad. Let me unblur, I apologize. There's this numpad, and then there's the numpad over on the other side. I would assume it's oxygen, but we'll have to wait and see. You also notice, like I mentioned before, the platform is not here right now. So maybe it always goes back to the left, or maybe it just stays, maybe it spawns on one side at the beginning of the round, and then if someone uses it, it stays at the other side. Something else we see is wiring down here, and a ladder.
Keep your eyes peeled.
This is cool.
We definitely have an imposter here.
I love that so much. This is the end. There's no movement in this scene, and he's already done talking. We were in the kitchen, which it said a little bit earlier. There's a hallway here on the right, a hallway on the left. Maybe a hallway or something up north. We have a room over here as well. Nothing is really able to be made out. I want to say this is the southern side of the map, but I could be mistaken. Obviously, we can't see anything directly to the south. We have rooms to the left and right that don't have anything directly to the south, but there is this window. So maybe there is something down here and you can see it through the window or vice versa, or maybe this is just the outside of the ship, a window looking outwards that we can't see anything. It's just, it's a ship and that's a window that you can see out of. My best guess would this be the south. We have a vent here. I assume there's tasks here, maybe something with making a hamburger over here or something with the condiments, maybe chopping some vegetables. I don't know. The Henry here doesn't appear to have any task here. Nothing's glowing in this room. But I would definitely assume there's something. There's so much here that I'd be absolutely shocked if there wasn't tasks here. I also just want to roll it back so you can watch that kill animation one more time, because I think it is very cool that they added at least one new kill animation. I think it keeps the game fresh and more interesting. I definitely imagine there's more than one new kill animation, but I think this one's really cool, and I'm excited to see what other ones they may be added. I love that. The Airship. It's going to be releasing early next year for free. It's going to be an update to the game. It's not a paid DLC or anything. Definitely check out @Among Us Game on Twitter, the official Among Us Twitter, as well as Innersloth, their Twitter. This is, like I mentioned, this is going to be largely unedited, if edited at all. Just because I want to get this out to you guys as soon as possible. I'm recording this just after the Game Awards has ended. Definitely subscribe if you're interested in this. I'm planning to play the map, obviously. I'm going to make a tips and tricks video on it like I have with the other maps. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. I'll probably stream it on my Twitch. All the links are going to be in the description. Also, the sub button's obviously right there. If it's red, make it gray, baby. I'll also probably play games with my subscribers in my Discord channel. Again, linked in the description. It'll all be there. I'm really excited to see what comes out. Definitely leave in the comments anything that I missed or that you're hoping to see that's just speculation, or just how you feel in general about how this trailer went. As someone, it's not necessarily a secret if you're in my Discord, I haven't played the game in a very long time, since probably the 3rd week of August. I haven't really played Among Us. I've made videos on it. But this actually has me excited to go in and explore a new map and come up with new strategies and new tips, new tricks, all that. So definitely subscribe. And yeah, that's going to be it from me for now. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in another video. And until then, see you soon.